All right, so we're going to actually pretend like we're starting our day together. And I'm going to take you through the whole process of how to best utilize this as a team member. Now, not everything will apply to you, right? Because FrontRunner is really powerful and it can be used in lots of different ways to serve agencies. So not everything is going to apply to you, but we hope a lot of things will. So we're gonna do sort of a broad brush overview on how to best use the system. You may already know a whole lot about what you're already seeing, and that's totally okay. There may just be one or two small parts that you need to know. So we're going to do that. We're going to talk about some things that you can do as a team member. We're going to talk about the things that you need to talk to your agent about. And then we're also going to talk to you about what's the best way to connect with support and get the help you need. And at the end of the call, we'll even give you kind of a sneak preview of some really cool brand new features that we have coming out in about 3 weeks. So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to jump right into this. So I'm going to log in as a team member, right? This team member's privileges are just a user. I'll tell you about the privileges here in a minute. And it's going to be Levi Norsworthy, which is my son. He's 13, by the way. He didn't use FrontRunner. But yeah, there it is. All right. And so we're going to, and of course I didn't put the password in right. All right. So we're going to go right here. All right, so let's just start right here. Now, every time you log into FrontRunner, obviously it's going to take you to your dashboard. Now, I know we've got varying levels of experience here. Some of you guys have been on with this for a couple of years. Some maybe this is the first time you've ever seen it because your agent just signed up and they said, hey, go jump on this call. All right, so I am going to be a little bit novice in terms of telling you some of the basics, but I think it's going to be helpful to everybody. So first thing is, here, let me go back and sign out. If for some reason you forget your password, which by the way, happens all the time, no problem at all. There's a couple of ways that you can do that. The first is you can hit that forgot password link and put in your email address. And then you're going to get a reset password link. Now, we did have an issue a couple of months ago where for some reason those emails were not getting to you, but that should be all solved over and you should be able to easily reset your password. It's going to send you a link to your email. You can click that and you'll be right in. You can also, by the way, you can also ask your agent to reset your password. Okay, they've got access under their agency setup to quickly reset your password. So you can do this as well. Your third line of defense, if neither of those working, you're not getting the email or your agent's not available, because we all know agents are available all the time, right? All right, you can always start a live chat right here, and one of our team members can help you if the first two options don't help. You're either going to talk to Tyrell, you're going to talk to Nia, you're going to talk to Chelsea. If you're really lucky, you might get to talk to me. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not as good as they are, but you can always start a live chat with us and we can usually pretty quickly reset your password as well. All right, so that's how you reset the password. So Tyrell and Chelsea, make sure you're sort of checking the chats there. If there's any questions that pertain to the login functionality, you can shout them out. Everything else we'll get to in just a second.
Sounds good.
All right, one more place you can change your password is right here on the dashboard. You can always hit change password there. You're gonna need to put in your old password, provided that you know, and then you can put in a new password as well. The only requirement is that it has to be 6 characters, okay? So we try to make things simple. Like, dude, this world's too hard by itself, right? So we don't wanna make things too complicated. So it's gonna be six characters, and then that's that. Okay, and then there doesn't have to be a capital or anything like that at all. So okay, so that's how you change your password. And now you're going to get into the logged in area. Now, some of you, your agent wants you to clock in, and some of your agent doesn't want you to clock in, or you're on salary and you're just not tracking hours, right? So let me show you the best way to clock in. We do get quite a few nuggets on how to clock in, how to manage that. I can tell you what the best way is to manage that. All right. So first thing, the best way to do it is when you come in, is just to hit that clock in button. All right. And what's going to happen is that it's going to capture your time automatically right at the top right. Now, if you notice that that time is wrong, it's probably because either your computer settings have a wrong time, or maybe there's a wrong time set up in your agency setup. All right, so just note that. Now, what's going to happen is that your hours are not going to tabulate here until you clock out. So like if you're clocking out for lunch, clocking out for a break, that's where that's going to be. Now, if you forget to clock in, okay, you can always do a manual clock in, but this is probably the most asked question. Would you agree, Chelsea, Tyrell, Nia, in terms of clocking in?
Yeah, totally.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so this is really important. So if you do a manual clock in, that's no problem. Just hit new clock in, put the date that you're in and out, all right, and then hit save. Now, what you're going to notice though, and I've got one here, is that it's going to put it as pending. That's because FrontRunner's got a built-in accountability system where your agent or an admin manager needs to go and approve that. All right. So here's where it gets a little bit confusing too. Every day, some of you probably get a daily report that has got all kinds of stuff on it, right? But some of it's got your daily clock ins. And so some of you have sent us messages, and we understand, it says, hey, it says I didn't work any hours today. The reason it's not showing on your report is because those hours are in a pending status. And so that report is only showing approved completed hours. So a couple things are going on. Either number one, you didn't clock out, or number two, you did a manual clock in and your agent hasn't approved it yet. Or possibility number three, you did do a manual clock in, but you came in here and edited it. So for instance, if I went in here to edit this, is edited even a word? Did I just make that up? All right. Anyway, so you can come in here. If you click edit and say, nope, I actually left yesterday at 1 and hit save. Okay, it's going to re-put that into a pending status. Therefore, if your agent did not catch that before they left, your report's going to show that you didn't work any hours. All right, so just a FYI, we're actually making a couple of new features with our late summer rollout now that's coming in 3 weeks. That'll make it even a lot clearer for your agents to see what's pending, so they can make sure and approve that. Another very important thing, listen, nobody's really working just because you love to work. You're working to make the money, right? And again, I know you love helping people, but the most important thing is that you get paid for the hours that you work. So the reality is
drive because they drove there. So they had to drive all the way back.
Yeah. So the reality is that if those things stay in a pending status, the hours are going to say zero there. Even if you worked 40 hours, but they are all pending, it's going to say zero. So it's really important for your agent, if you have to do a manual clock in, to go and approve those hours, because on the timesheets that they get, it's going to just show nothing, right? And so we don't want that to happen. Okay. However, if you use this clock in button, clock in, clock out, it's going to automatically approve it. You won't have to worry about that. And check this out. We have a brand new mobile app coming out in about 3.5, 4 weeks that, say like you're out in the field doing sales calls or something like that. You can actually clock in from your mobile app as well. So it'll show it as an app clock in, but you'll be able to do that just in case you're not sitting at your desktop. Okay. Any questions on clocking in and out, Chelsea, Tyrell?
We did have one, but I answered it. Someone had asked, Ashley says, when you manually clock in, do you have to put in out time right away? And I said, it does request that, but I'd usually recommend adjusting it at the end of the day for when you actually finished working.
That's right. And that's actually one of the new things that's being tweaked at the late summer. I keep saying midsummer. School's back in session today in Lexington. So there's depression over the whole land. But one thing that is happening at our late summer rollout in 3 weeks is you're going to be able to put a time in without having to put a time out. Because we know that can get confusing and you might forget to go adjust that. So you will be able to clock in and then you'll be able to clock out as normal, and it'll still put it in as a pending status, but you won't have to remember to go back and adjust that time. All right.
Somebody just asked, do passwords ever expire?
Mm-hmm. Great question. Passwords never expire. However, good security measures, we encourage you to change your password at least every 60 days. All right. It's not going to make you change your password, but we do encourage you to change your password just in case something happens. There's a bot out there crawling it. We don't think that happens on our site in terms of malware or anything, but it's just in general good practice to change your password every 2 months. Now, we're saying that I know most y'all have the exact same password for every one of your logins. It's the same for Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, your bank account. Y'all got one password because I do the same thing. but good security measures, you should probably change it every 60 days. All right. Okay, so we're going to now move off of that and show you how to sort of operate your day, right? Again, you can see the apps that you've written for the day, week, month, and the year. That gets them a little bit more granular as you go down the page. But one of the most important things that you can do with FrontRunner is track your activities. Now, there's a couple of ways to do this, and one we highly encourage over the other, right? So one way you can track your activities is you leave FrontRunner up during the day. Okay, you can have it minimized in a browser or have it up on a side screen like I have, because you keep seeing me look that way because I've got like 9 screens in here. But we do encourage you to have it up and interact with it during the day. Here's why. The activity trackers are meant to help you to win the day. All right. Now, most of you, a lot of you who've been in insurance know this. Maybe you're new to insurance. I'm not an agent. I'm not a team member. I feel like I could be a pretty good team member by this point. Maybe. So if I ever get fired, maybe one of your agents can hire me. But essentially, selling insurance is a numbers game, right? X amount of activities leads to X amount of quotes, leads to X amount of production. It is that simple formula. I'm sure you all already know that. So FrontRunner's activity goals are really designed to help you to win the day. Your agent has spent a lot of time thinking about the kinds of activities they want you to do. And those activities are the things that they believe are going to help you be the most effective in their agency. So that's why the trackers are there. And the goal is for you to interact with those throughout the day. All right. So anytime you make a call, you can hit that plus button and you can start to see that grow. Anytime there is a quote, you can start popping those in. So let me do a quick pause. Hey, Tyrell, do you mind going into the admin on this account and requiring a note for quotes, please?
Yeah, hold on.
Are you doing that? Thanks, buddy. I'll show you what it looks like if you have a little blue badge by it. You do that app, you've got maybe a couple referrals, so you can see how you start interacting with these. Now, if you're like me, maybe on calls, I don't want to sit there to make a call to hit that plus button. But maybe every 30 minutes, every hour, check out my call log. Yep, made eight calls this hour. Click another 8. You can actually put the number in there and hit plus, and you're going to start to see these grow. All right. So this is important. This is why we think you should do it throughout the day, is because it helps you to know how much you need to do to win the day. You want to try to close every single ring every single day. And then you can click over and see how you're doing for the week, the month. And if you have a quarterly or yearly plan, which a lot of you don't, you can even click over and see that. All right. Now, some of you have activities that have these badges by them. All right. And that means it's going to require a note. So watch now, if you hit that quote, it's going to ask for a note to put in there, right? So maybe it's quoted a test, call back tomorrow. All right. So there we go. Now you'll notice it logged the quote. And here's the cool thing. Now you can view all of your notes right from the bottom left. So you can keep track of some most important notes that you need. Now, this is not necessarily meant to replace ECRM. But it is a really helpful thing so that you don't have to keep toggling back and forth. In our late summer rollout, we actually have a brand new feature that has something called My Notes and Reminders. And it works a little bit like ECRM's tasks, but you can actually create notes and different note lists and then set automatic reminders for things, right? So maybe you did that quote and you just need to follow up with them. You want to say, hey, set a reminder for Friday at 2:00. Well, you can set that reminder and there's going to be a pop-up screen on FrontRunner Friday at 2:00 for you to call that person back. So that's coming in the late summer rollout as well. We're super excited about that. Again, it is a little bit of a duplication of what ECRM already does. So it's just an option that you'll be able to have if your agent wants you to see that. All right, so here's your tracking items. This is where you're able to see all those notes that you put in. And then, even if you have a bunch of notes, you can even filter by the type of note if you're looking for something specific. Also, it's easy to export those to Excel.
We have a good question.
Yes, go ahead.
So someone says, does the agent have to request the notes or can you add them for your own benefit?
Fantastic question. So your agent initially will need to signify what activities they want notes on, right? So you can't do that from your side. However, in the late summer rollout, in the My Task and Reminders, you will be able, if you have that module assigned to your dashboard, you will be able to create your own note list and kind of have a little bit more control. But yeah, so if you want one of your activities to require a note, just go ahead and let your agent know. And then it's just a one-click button. And, you know, and again, we can help them do that on this side as well. So that's a really fantastic question.
I have one other question or kind of a comment of something that's happened. Someone had said I had noticed that sometimes during the day it seems to shut down. Is that because it's updating? And then I asked if it was the browser or FrontRunner in general. And they said just the FrontRunner page, and it isn't just mine. We've all experienced it separately.
Yeah, that's a
Can
really
it time out? Maybe.
No, so it's never going to time. It's never going to time out. All right. So my guess is, and correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, about 2.5, almost 3 months ago, we experienced a massive increase in users, right? I mean, FrontRunner is growing really fast every single day. And so that was just making the system that we had so many things to process in the database, right? It was a good problem to have, but we know it was frustrating on your side because some of you probably experienced the dashboard refreshing on you without you even wanting it to, or maybe it just timed out and closed out. So that was one of those problems, right? So our dev team, who's just amazing in-house devs here, they're great. They went into high gear. We upgraded our server, added all kinds of resources, made a bunch of tweaks to some behind the scenes, super nerdy tech stuff. And so that should not be happening anymore. We haven't had a lot of reports since we made those massive tweaks 4 or 5 weeks ago. We had a couple little things we worked out in the last 2 weeks. But you should not have those things anymore. If you do, please reach out to us so we can take a look at your specific account because there may be some sort of bug living there that we just don't know about. So, but in general, pretty much everybody was experiencing the same sort of timeout issues. But globally, those should be fixed now. And we don't ever anticipate to have those again. But if you are experiencing that, please let us know because we want to make sure to take care of you, which brings me to a super good point here. We are here for you, right? There are other tracking platforms. They say that, but you got to submit a ticket and you got to wait and you're kind of dead in the water, right? We want to support you daily, all right? If you need it, we believe if you need support, you should get it right away. And so in this call, I'm going to talk about a couple of ways to best get that support, especially if you're having a timeout issue. You know, we really want to take a look at that as soon as you've got that timeout issue. So great question. All right, and so these are the activities. So we really say the best way to use them are to do them throughout the day. Now, you could come in here at the end of the day and just put all your activities in one swoop. All right, I do know of some agencies that do that. We believe that your agent knows their agency better than we do, but the most effective users of FrontRunner put their activities in throughout the day, right? And here's why: because we're human. You're human. I'm human. And it is super easy to forget to do it. And this old adage is kind of true throughout our day. If you aim at nothing, you'll hit it, right? If you aim at nothing, you will hit it, right? So the goal of these is for you to know what you're aiming at and to be reminded throughout the day what you need to do to be successful, right? Because we believe and we know that entering your activities is not just to keep tabs on you. Entering your activities really and truly helps make you more money. I'm serious, right? Like if you're on any kind of bonus plan or commission plan or whatever, we believe entering activities makes you more money, right? Because we know for a fact that more activities leads to more quotes, leads to more production, right? So if you're just daily encouraged to get all your activities done, more than likely, you're going to be a really effective team member in sales, right? Now, well, we also have service folks that these things are set up for service, and it's really important to track them for service as well, because that allows your agent to log in and to be able to see how you are specifically doing on that as well. Now, we have another thing you've never seen. You can actually toggle over and see how the agency is doing as a whole. So this is really great in case you got lots of team members. You can see your production, your activities, and then you can toggle over and see them collectively as an agency, right? So you can kind of see how you're doing with your share of the pie. All right. So that is the activity goals. And so the really great tool to have. Now I'm going to go past this for a second. Now, a lot of you maybe have never seen these things called data analyzers. Now, these are really neat, especially if you like numbers. I'm going to spend just maybe 2 minutes on these because I've got a lot of other things I want to cover. This helps you to take your data, your activity data, your sales data, and to create a ratio. For instance, how many calls, if you're heavy sales, how many calls does it take for you to get to a quote? That's really important for you to know, right? Because that measures how effective you are on the phone. How many quotes does it take to get to a sale? That's an important number to know. So you can literally create data analyzers and set them up so that you can always know how effective you are. So for instance, let's do that. You just hit add data point. Then you can say, yep, let's do my calls. All right, and I want to see how many calls it's taking to get to a sale of any product issued sales, right? And then I'm going to say, yep, let me just track all time. And I'm going to say, I just want to see myself. Now you can evaluate the whole agency if you want, see how the agency is doing as a whole, but you can say, yep, I just want to see how many calls does it take for me to get to a sale. And I'm going to hit save. Now look at that. Now, obviously this is a demo account. I'm just putting in dummy data, but you can see how quickly it is. Right now it's taking 1.67 calls to get to a sale, right? Now, obviously, again, I haven't put too much in there, but if I greatly increase this, let's just say I made 100 calls, 100 more calls. Okay, boom, there it is. All right. Now, if I just give the dashboard a refresh, all right, now you can see this data analyzer's changed. Now it's taking me 18 calls to get to a sale, right? So these are really great to help you to know, am I hitting the mark? Where am I effective? Where am I efficient? Where I'm not. So that's what those data analyzers are for. You can compare anything you want. You can compare any activity to any activity. You can compare any activity to a sale. You can compare sales to sales, right? So you might say, hey, how many auto sales does it take to get to a life sale? All right, so now it's looking like 10 auto sales to get to a life sale. Now, why would this be important? This would be important to give you the insight of how often are you making that pivot, especially if you're a multi-line team member sales. That tells you how often you are making that pivot, right? Because again, you're human, I'm human. Sometimes I forget how often I have the live conversation, with a prospect. Or even with a current customer, right? So this will tell you, am I just selling PNC all day? Which might be your job. If it is, take a sip of coffee and ignore this. But if you're multi-line and your agent wants you to be doing life, then this will tell you how often you really make that pivot, right? So anyway, that's the data analyzers. Now I want to scroll back up. We're still on our dashboard. Your agent has set, well, first off, Chelsea, Tyrell, Nia, any questions that are kind of relevant to what we've been talking about here?
We did have a couple. So someone had asked if they can see team members on apps written, and I kind of responded that they would have to be in a user plus status to see that, right?
So to see the detail, we actually have leaderboards here that you can see what other team members have written.
Mm-hmm. I think they were referring to like the actual applications.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. So you would have to be a user plus status, which we'll actually talk about here in just a second. Yeah, good question.
And that's it with the questions, I think, at the moment.
Okay, great. Okay, so here's your actual versus goals. Your agent has set some goals for you. And so this is a great way to see how you're doing in relation to the goals that you've set. Notice if anything is in orange, it means you have not hit that goal yet. If anything is in green, it means you have hit that goal. All right, so the goal is to turn all of these green by the end of the month. Now you can toggle and see these are just written sales. You can see, nope, just show me issued sales, or you could see them sort of all together right here. So that's what those are for. Now you can always go and hit agency as well and see how your agency is doing as a whole, right? So again, this just shows you how your production is as a whole in the agency. All right, so that's those actual versus goals. You can even see some year-over-year data if you want, but that's what those are all about. All right, so let's go to the leaderboard. So some of you are on this leaderboard. So FrontRunner has 3 kinds of leaderboards. We've got an applications leaderboard that's internal, an activities leaderboard that's internal, but we also have global leaderboards. So you can see how you're doing versus other agents across versus other team members across the country. So let me show you how this works. This is going to rank you 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. If you can look at it by cell count, or you can even look at it by premiums as well. So you can toggle and see those differences. We do know that if you have a bunch of premiums, sometimes this kind of bunches up. Or actually, that's going to change at the late summer rollout. But just know that that's what that is. But it's easy to click sale count to see who's doing just pure number of apps. And then here's how it's doing for premiums. Now you can also change the dates and kind of get a larger date range. Like, okay, you might be top dog this month, but how are we doing over the last 6 months? That's where those leaderboards really come into play. No, but we also give you the ability to see how other agencies and other agents are doing across the country. Now, do not fear. If your name is not on the global leaderboard somewhere, or if your agency is not on the global leaderboard, it's just because your agent has turned that off. All right. Some agents would rather not be a part of that, and that's what that's all about. All right. But a lot of you are. So I want to search a team member. Is anybody daring enough to give me their name that I can search you on the global leaderboard? Anybody daring enough? Chelsea.
Oh, I like that one.
All right.
No one yet.
Nobody yet. So nobody's willing to share to let us search their name.
Oh, Ashley.
Ashley.
I don't
Okay.
know how to say her last name. Mangin. Oh,
Okay.
There's a few. She says she's new.
Right. So Ashley, if you want to, so if you're not on the top 10 here, all right, you can come up here and you can hit more and you can see your name. So it's Ashley, and then spell that last name again.
MAN.
Sorry, hang on back. Ashley, MAN.
GIN.
GIN. Sorry guys. It looks like maybe you're not on the global leaderboard.
She might not be. Yeah, there's another.
No, it's because I spelled it wrong. No, yeah, it looks like you're not on that global leaderboard yet. So tell your agent to put you on the global leaderboard. Who else can we look at?
We have Trish Benzing, BENZING.
Not there either. What's going on?
She said she started July 1st and took a vacation last week, though.
Oh, so you might not be on there. Okay. Anybody else daring enough?
Erica Ferguson.
All right, Erica Ferguson, there you are. Okay, so Erica, you're just starting this month. Obviously, it's pretty early. So Erica, you can see you're part of the WISE agency. There you go. And you've got two apps so far. So you can see your number 933. Don't worry, we a better, like a reflection of that is kind of closer to the end of the month, right? So you can see where you rank with team members across the country. So pretty cool. You can kind of see where you fall. And again, we know some of you are in different markets. Some of you are in big cities. Other of you are in small towns. So it's not super apples to apples, but it is kind of fun to sort of see where you land. All right. Anybody else want to search them?
There are 3 others.
Just give me one more.
Okay. So we have Grace, and then the last name is JUN.
Okay. Grace, you are number 204. You got 10 auto, 5 fire so far. So you're number 204 in the country in terms of FrontRunner. So, all right. So that's how you can search your name if you want to see how you're doing on the global team member leaderboard. All right.
We do have sorry, before we move on, we just have one since we covered that. So the question about the apps written, someone says, so at the very top where it says apps written, my manager stated we used to be able to see everyone's apps written in the office, and now it only shows my apps written. Is that where my boss would have to put me on User Plus?
Is that going to be up here, you mean?
Yes.
No. So even in User Plus, you should not see this. My guess is your agent had you as an admin or a manager. And so that would be the only way that you could see that. I'm pretty sure unless we made a tweak.
No, I was going to say that's specifically for like you. I mean, the top portion would just be for them, right?
That's right. Hey, Tyrell, do you mind changing my status to User Plus, please? And let's see if that changes that.
Yeah. Okay. Let's leave.
You got it. Yep. So that's a great question. But yeah, typically you would only see yours. User Plus only pertains to what's happening on the sales page, right? So if you saw everybody else's stuff here, that's probably because you were.
Should already. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Tyrell.
Should
Sorry.
already be.
Okay. Yep. So I just refreshed it. I'm now on User Plus, and yeah, I still see my own. So. Okay, well, that's the global leaderboard. I'm actually going to go on. Some of you do even have a little sales tab here. So it can see your recent sales. These are ones I put in today. Hey, quick note, maybe you didn't know this, is that here on the bonus page, you actually don't have, like if you see something wrong, a premium's incorrect or something, you can always click on the name and the sale form pops right up. I didn't know if you knew that. Maybe you did. But it lets you make updates right from there. So you don't have to go back to the sales page. You can update it right here. So that's going to be at the bottom of some of your dashboards. Now, again, not every one of your dashboards looks like this because your agent can customize. And even at the late summer rollout, you're going to have a ton of new options for custom dashboards. So every one of your dashboards might look very different, but everything kind of works the same, right? All right, so let's go to sales, and we're going to be pretty brief for this. Now, many of you put in your sales here. Just like activities, we encourage you to put those in as soon as you write them. Now, we are not eCRM integrated. One day we probably will be. The reason we're not is because it doesn't work well. All right, some of the people that have come over from Racing Snail or Today at Pro, you probably already know you have to spend a ton of time cross-checking things. A few agencies, it did work well, but anyway, at some point we will be eCRM integrated when it works properly. So the idea.
We have one more.
Yeah, go ahead, Chelsea. Go ahead.
No, you could finish that sentence. I thought you were done. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I'm stopping. I know you're so important, Chelsea. I'm gonna stop.
So we had a question if those sales would be pending until the agent approves them, and I did answer, but if you want to answer as well.
The sales here, you mean?
Yeah, so if a team member were to edit, so you said like if a premium's incorrect and they were to edit that sale, would the agent have to approve it, or would it be in a pending status?
It would not be in the pending status. No. Nope. So you can totally edit your own, and it doesn't put them in pending at all.
Unless it's in, like, would you say a locked period from a previous month?
Great point. Yes, that's a great point, Tyrell. Thank you. All right, if you ever need to go back and edit a sale from 2 months ago, all right. So again, I don't think I have any from back there. And for some reason, this is showing locked. There's a little locked button. That's because someone who with an admin manager or a user plus has locked that sale, or they've closed out the period. That means you can't go back and edit that because they've already verified that it's correct. So if you need to edit a sale from a locked period, you just need to ask a user plus or an admin manager to unlock that. Now, we do have a setting where agents can allow specific team members to lock and unlock their sales even without user plus status. But that's pretty uncommon. Would you agree, Chelsea and Tyrell? That's pretty uncommon.
Yes, I agree. And yeah. I would say most agents don't utilize the lock feature, but if they do, there's probably like a reason that they do it. So I would probably touch base and just make sure that they're, that they know that the period's being unlocked in the first place. But we do have another question. Would locking it then be used to show it's paid the commish to the team member?
No, it would not. So locking and unlocking a sales, actually, that's a great question. Doesn't have anything to do with your commission. Oh, yeah. So at all.
To piggyback off of that, once you log a sale, it's locked, correct? That is.
It is not locked.
Not locked.
Not locked. Yeah. So the locking is a manual thing that happens by an agent, admin, manager, user plus person. Yeah.
Yeah. Typically the sale would be locked. Like if an agent pays the bonus period and they're like, okay, this has been paid and I've verified that the premium has issued at this price, and then they would lock it. So once you enter them in, they would just still be like a new sale.
That's correct. Okay, I've got about 10 more minutes, and so I want to kind of blaze through a couple of things here because I want to make sure we cover them in this training. Hey, if you miss something, no problem. We're actually going to do a team member training every single month. It'll be pretty similar, but you can always jump back on. And we also have another one at 1 o'clock today too. It'll be the same stuff, just in case you miss something. So, okay, so here's how you intercept. Entering sales is really super quick with FrontRunner. So, but we're going to show you how the best way to do this. So let's say you're multi-lining and you write 2 autos and a homeowners for, all right? FrontRunner's smart enough that you don't have to do a bunch of double entry. So let's just pretend that that person's for A Smith, no zip code. You know, you don't have to do that. Put in that written date, no chargeback date. It's going to be a private passenger. Let's say that came from a, I don't know, EverQuote, because we know those things work out all the time, right? And then maybe a prior insurance there. Then you just pop in that premium. We're going to say that's a little high. Let's do that. And then the notes is really cool because we encourage you to put the name of the car in the notes. All right. Now you'll notice nothing here breaks State Farm compliance. You're just putting the first initial, last name. That's what you're allowed to do compliance wise. But you're not putting email address, phone number, anything like that. All right. We're not putting VIN numbers in or anything like that. Okay. So just, this is the car, just so you know which one it is. Now watch, now you can hit save. Did you notice the sale saved, but the form didn't clear? That's so you don't have to retype all that information. So now you just put in your second car. Maybe it is a $900 premium, and that's for the Mercedes. Everything else stays the same. Private passenger, EverQuote, Allstate, it all stays the same. So you don't have to re-enter that stuff. Boom. Now you just put in 2 sales. But now you also did a homeowners for that customer. Well, again, the form doesn't clear. Go back to the top, select fire. Okay, the name stays, where it came from stays, prior insurance stays, and now all you got to do is just change the policy type to homeowners, to that homeowners premium, clear that note, and hit save. And now you've quickly written 3 sales, right? So it's super easy, super quick. We encourage you to put those in immediately, right? And then so all of your sales are going to populate right down into here. You already know this. A couple things maybe you didn't know. You can even customize the way this data table looks. You can hit manage columns and say, you know what, I really don't want to see the source type. You can just uncheck source, hit save, and that column is going to disappear. So it just makes it really clean for you to view.
We have a question.
Yeah, go ahead. Question.
If you write 4 vehicles, does it have to be entered as each individual vehicle or one? Yes.
So this form needs to be filled out for each vehicle. However, right, because it's going to log it as an individual app. But however, if you just saw, you don't have to retype the name, the last name, the source type, any of that, right? So you just hit save. All right. Put in the premium for the second vehicle, maybe down here in the notes, put the kind of vehicle it was and hit save new sale. Boom. You've just done 2.
I'm wondering if they might be referring to like a multi-car state. You know, like if it's one policy where all cars. So I would check with your agent.
Yeah, yes. So we do have some of that where you've got that in your state, and we've worked that out with individual agents. So I would ask them how you want to how your agent wants you to enter those. All right. So just got about another 5 or 8 minutes. So I want to cover some things. So Chelsea, kind of hold those questions just for a second, okay?
Sounds good.
When it comes time to enter those policies, to issue them, right? That's how they pop over to your bonus dashboard. You just simply, if the premium doesn't change upon issuance, you can literally just hit issue sale with that check button. You don't have to open the sale and put an issue date. You can just hit the check button and it'll issue that sale. Now you'll notice I can see other people's sales. That's because I'm on user plus status. All right. But like if this one, let's say this one right here, we wrote the premium change, maybe it rated differently. You can then hit edit sale and then come up here, pop in that issue date and then put whatever that issue premium was. Maybe it came out a little higher. All right. And then your bonus is going to be based off of that. If you just click that issue button, it's going to take whatever you have in the written box and pop it over to the issued box and hit update. Boom, there you go. And now you've issued those sales and then at that point, they all are going to pop over to your bonus dashboard, which is every team member's favorite place to go, right? The cool, powerful thing about FrontRunner is that it keeps your bonuses active in real time, right? So you can at any time come in and as soon as you qualify for a bonus, you're going to see it right here on this page. Product, kicker, activity, if you have any chargebacks, are all going to populate right here. You even have the ability to go back in time and see what your previous bonuses were by just clicking that box. All right, then it's going to show you by product line, and then it's even going to show you how much each policy is paying per the policy, right? Because we want you to be fully transparent on what you're being paid. Now, a couple cool things. You can get to the new sale form by just clicking new sale. So you can do that right there. You can even click on any name and their sale form is going to pop up, makes it really super easy. And then you can always go view the plan details, right? So if you're wondering why you're being paid that, you can hit view plan details and actually go see the percentages per the product line that your agent is paying and whatever bonus. So if you have a multi-tier plan, it's even going to show you what plan level you've achieved. Maybe you've got 5 or 6 levels. You can do that. Maybe there's kickers with all kinds of kicker levels. You're going to be able to see that and even view the details of that kicker as well. So again, we just want to make it really easy to see what you're being paid and why you're being paid that. All right. So easy to scroll down through your products, see those and go on. Now, let me make something we have a lot of questions on. We've got this little tab called bonusable and qualification, right? So if I hit qualification and bonusable, this plan, there's no change. But you might at some point hit qualification and see sales in qualification that you don't see as being bonusable. Here's why that is. Depending on your plan, some of you have sales that either issued in previous months or that are tiering up your plan, but you're not paying on those, that are part of the qualification, right? For instance, maybe your agent is paying on, maybe they're paying you more PNC based on life sales. All right. But they're going to pay those life sales with a grace period of last month. So let's say the life sale was written in July, it issued August the 5th. They had a 10-day grace period for you to pay it on your last check. But that sale is going to level up the August bonus. Okay. That's where you would see down here in life, you would see that sale under qualification. If you clicked on bonus, it would not be being bonused. Why? Because it was paid in a previous month. So if you ever see policies under qualification that are not under bonusable, it's because those are being used to tier your plan up, but they're not currently being paid. And they're either not being paid because there's some other validation that you've not hit, or they were paid in a previous month. All right. Now, really cool, in the late summer rollout, 2-3 weeks, you're actually going to have a new widget here called Level Up. All right. I wish I had time to show you today. But Level Up is going to be a widget that's going to automatically tell you what you need to do to get to the next bonus level. So in about a month, you're going to see that Level Up widget right here on your bonus dashboard, where it's going to say issue 5,000 more in premium to get to the next level, and your commission will be this. Or write one more life policy to bump you to this kicker level, and then your commission will be this. So that's going to be really, really neat because you're going to be able to, with one look, see what you need to do to get to that next bonus level. So that widget's going to be called Level Up. There will also be a tab on there that lets you toggle over to unissued sales and to say, hey, if you could just get these sales issued, I know you don't have a ton of control over it other than maybe like a life policy. You can see what your commission will be if just all of those issued sales, all of those written sales become issued. All right, so that's a new tool. Also, maybe you've not noticed, we do have a bonus estimator right here where you can go in here and run some estimates on what your bonus will be. So for instance, you can say, what if I do another $7,400 in premium? And let's just say that that consisted of 10 private passenger, and let's just say 1 added private. Okay. You wanted to see what your bonus would be. So you could do that. You could then hit calculate estimate. And there it is. This would be how much you would be paid per your bonus plan. Here's your levels you would achieve if you wrote that amount. So use this tool to kind of run some what if statements, right? Put in premium, put in policy amounts, and you'll be able to see what your bonus could be if you do those, right? So use that bonus estimator. It is there for you. All right. Any questions on bonus or bonus estimator, Chelsea, Tyrell?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, cool. So, hey, just a minute, guys, we're going to give away the Uber Eats or Grubhub or whichever your favorite is. But I want to show one more thing, and you have to be on the call to be able to get that. So just another couple of minutes. The last thing I want to show you here is and again, you've got some reports that you can go look at, and hopefully this call has been helpful. But here's the best way to get support for FrontRunner, right? We have spent a ton of time figuring out how to serve you really, really well. All right. So there's really 3 ways that you can get support with FrontRunner. Actually, there's 4 ways. Number 1. All right, there are some things that are actually pretty easy that your agent can do. Things like your agent can change your password. Your agent can add an activity plan to you. Your agent can modify your PTO days or something like that. Your agent can do all of that. All right. We did not get to go over how to request time off, but you would just click request time off, hit new request, put the dates, paid or unpaid, select what category it's coming from and hit save. And then if your agent approves that, it's going to add those to your time. So we'll go over those in a different call. But number 1, your agent can do a whole lot. But if your agent's busy, can't do it, or there's another question, there's another way that you can get really quick help, and that's with our knowledge base right here. So if you see these are our help articles that you can click at any time. Now mine is gonna take us over to our here. Let me log out because you're actually seeing our. Apologize for that. All right, good. I had to sign out there. So I'm going to go back to FrontRunner. Give me just a second, and you'll notice that it's going to keep me logged in here. Oh, sorry, I've got a cache thing going on. Give me just 1 second. All righty, right there. Boom, there it is. Okay, so now let's do it. Now, so if you go down here and you select help articles, we've actually spent a whole lot. I haven't done anything. All right. And Tyrell, Chelsea, Nia, Tyrell specifically has spent a lot of time trying to put together some FAQs and how-tos. All right. And so that's a really great way to kind of go and get quick questions answered for yourself. So you can do that here. And actually a lot of them. So for instance, how do I, what's the difference in sale premium, written premium, issued premium? You can click that. That's actually going to here.
You got to click right on it.
Oh, I got to click right on it. Thank you, Tyrell.
Yeah, right on it.
Oh, yeah, I accidentally hit that one, not there. So that's the split sale feature, which we didn't have time to cover today. But anyway, here's how to filter bonus tab. So we've tried to give you visuals on how to best interact and get help, right? So this is a great place to start when you need support, right? How to change your password, all kinds of things. Now, this is going to be a lot sort of geared toward the agent. But they can certainly go there. All right. The next place that you can do that we love is we've actually, you can submit a ticket, and you can submit a ticket by hitting submit ticket, hit new support ticket, and then put in your subject and your problem. Now I'll tell you one thing that's really helpful, especially to members. We need to know what agency you're from to be able to quickly help you, right? So if you've ever gotten a message back like, hey, what agency you're with, it's because we can't look up your name specifically for some privacy things. So we have to know what agency you're with. So you might want to put the problem in here and then maybe say what insurance agency you're with. That'll help you as quick as possible. All right, so you can do that. You can send us an email at support@I'mAFrontRunner, but then you can also start a live chat. And again, it's like having FrontRunner in the corner of your office all the time, and which is not creepy at all. Okay, but you can start a live chat, and you can pop in there. Put your email in. So we just do my Gmail. Hey, for some reason, my bonus isn't calculating, and you can start that chat. And then one of our team members, see Chelsea, who's on the call. Chelsea just got on that chat, and they're going to be able to help you really quick. This is a great tool, and we encourage you to use it if you need us. All right. So that's what that way is. And then finally, what agency you're with, right? So she wants to know what agency I'm with, and I'm gonna tell her doesn't matter. Don't answer her that way, by the way. But if you want to mess with her. So that's how you can get help with chat. And then you can always call our support phone number as well to give you some help. So that's the best way to connect with us. All right. I've got about 3 more minutes, and then I want to give away these things, and I want to let you guys get a part of your day. There's a lot of things that we didn't cover that we will cover in our next team member Zoom one. We'll probably do like a level 2 training, which will dig a little bit deeper. So kind of watch that. But do we have any questions, Tyrell or Chelsea, that you want to answer before we give away these gift cards?
None have come up yet. I don't know if
Okay.
anyone has any final ones, but yeah, we
Don't
haven't
drop
had
off.
any.
I see people dropping off. Don't drop off because you got to be present to win. Got to be present to win. All right. So, yeah. Hey, thanks so much for attending the call. I really hope it was helpful to you. If it wasn't, let us know why it wasn't helpful. Maybe not in the chat, but maybe to an email. Let us know why it wasn't helpful and what you would have rather seen. I know we didn't get super deep into things, but we will do that on subsequent calls. Yeah, go ahead.
Someone says, how long have you all been doing FrontRunner? You know all of this inside and out.
Oh yeah, great question. Yeah, so we have been doing FrontRunner. FrontRunner's been around for about 3.5 years. We started out slow, right? And we had 70 or 80 agencies. But then over the last year, it's exploded to way over 700, 800 agencies now using FrontRunner. And so it's been like a crash course of getting to know that. So my specific role is that I am one of 5 partners. We call them partners in honorary. We have some sort of ownership stake in FrontRunner. And so I was the actual original developer of FrontRunner. So I built all of the back-end code. Don't be super impressed because it wasn't all that great. Okay. But when we started really growing, I became our managing partner just to really support our support team. And we hired a real development team. So that's great. All right, I see a couple more questions. How often do updates with new options? We roll out new things all the time. We have a massive one coming out in 3 weeks. And I wish I had time to tell you, just really quick, we have a new mobile app for iOS and Android coming out. We've got new customized dashboards. We've just got all kinds of things that are coming out. But we are constantly rolling out new features. And we try to give you those updates in the FrontRunner community group on Facebook, which, by the way, if you are not on our private Facebook group, please go join. It's just called, type in FrontRunner community, and that's when you'll know all about that. All right. Now, one more quick question before we pick the winners and let you guys get on with your day. 2 more questions. Yes, when the last week of August, we will be, or maybe the week before, we are going to be doing 5 straight days of new feature rollout Zooms. Okay, we're going to kind of pretend we're Apple. We're not nearly as cool as Apple, but we're going to do like kind of a cool daily keynote, probably be 20-25 minutes a day, that will unroll those new features. Right. So one day will be the mobile app. One day will be custom dashboards. And your agent's going to get an email, and we're going to put it in that FrontRunner community Facebook group. So again, if you're not a part of that Facebook group, go join that Facebook group so that you know when those Zooms are, and team members are welcome, agents are welcome, all that good stuff. All right.